So we got cut off. I apologize. Give y'all a chance to come back on. I don't even remember what we were talking about, y'all. Son. So, how many of y'all have like bookish nooks in your home? Like where y'all just go and settle down and read books? I have one area in my home up front, and then I actually am working on another area in my house, like in the back of my house. But I just feel like it's just something about having like a bookish area that you can go to. You can lay down on the sofa or in an egg chair and just relax, listen to audio, read, or possibly also fall asleep, you know. And this one that I have, I also want to, this one that I'm actually building, I want to put like a coffee station in there. Get me a little, you know, coffee stand thing and put a coffee stand in there so that I don't have to go far. I can just get up off the couch and go to the little coffee stand and make me some coffee or some espresso, and then just lay back down on my comfy area and read some more books. Yeah, so oh, guys, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what I want to do. How did y'all fare the storm, y'all? And do y'all have any questions for me? I would like to know how y'all fared the storm. Did everybody come out okay? I know everybody yards probably look a mess because mine looks a mess. I have so many limbs and things down in my yard. It just looks a mess. But hey, I would rather for my yard to look a mess than for like some of these trees to be then, you know, fell down in my yard or on my house that I've seen in other people's homes. Well, I'm home, y'all, so now I can just look at y'all and just talk to you guys. I'm home. So again, y'all, since I got off so abruptly earlier, I'm gonna just do a recap. I always read more than one book at one time. That's just me. I love to do that, and I do that because I tandem read. But I'm reading Iron Flame at the moment, and this is my little bookmark, y'all. That's what I'm reading at the moment. I am reading my book club pick for August, and it's First Lies Win. Y'all, I have not even started this book yet, so I will start this book sometime tonight. I got my bookmark on chapter 1. I'm reading the Heartstoppers graphic novels. I will be reading volume 3 and 4, and I'm reading this because I enjoy reading graphic novels, but also I'm doing a graphic novel reading weekend vlog, so this will be what that book will be about. Hello, how you doing? And also, guys, so that's 3 books right there. And I'm also listening to Corrupt by Penelope Douglas on audio as well. So basically, y'all, I'm only kind of like reading these 3. And I'll say that because like this is for a reading vlog. So it's not like, you know, It's gonna take up a whole lot of my time. And then guys, it's a graphic novel. So like graphic novels, they just don't take up that much time. And I just love the way in a graphic novel, like I feel like in a graphic novel, like it gives the author a chance to be free-handed. And the reason why I say that is because like look at the drawings. Like they're very free-handed and very simple. So I feel like it gives that author a chance to be free-handed and to actually, I wouldn't say be a kid again, but in a sense I would say be a kid again, because I mean that's what a graphic novel is. Like a graphic novel is full of, you know, like cartoon characters and uh little bubbles of what the person is saying. And I just feel, and it's so colorful and stuff like that. I just feel like when I read graphic novels, it just gives me a chance to be that kid or that teenager again. Because I don't know about you guys, but I used to like to get the certain part of the newspaper because it will have like graphic novels in there. So I love that. Hey, Prune. I'm hoping I'm saying some of y'all names right. They just every Bonnie. Uh, one pizza for every subscriber. I don't know. I'm not understanding what you're saying again. So what are you guys reading? How was you guys? How were you? How was your day? My day was pretty kosher. I was able to get some editing done while I was at work. I was able to get some emails out the way while I was at work. And I was actually able to do some reading while I was at work, along with taking care of patients. So I had a really good day at work. And then guys, like I was mentioning earlier, do y'all have like a reading nook area or a book room in your home where y'all just, it's like y'all secret place, y'all, where y'all go and read books? Y'all possibly have a coffee stand in there, and you know, it's just a place for you guys just to be. Hey Ryan. Annie Rice. And that's a vampire, that's a graphic novel. Because I was looking at this little lady who actually was who's a lover of graphic novels also, and she was reading a book called Annie, a graphic novel called Annie, but it didn't have anything to do about vampires though. Okay. Well, I have to check that out. Is it one of those colorful graphic novels, or is it like the black and white ones? I was hoping that my some of my people that has been rocking with me since I actually started going live will make it on this live before I get off, because I have to go at 8 o'clock. PBS is having Abby Jimenez on a live interview or whatever it is, and I just want to see that interview, that live, through PBS Books. I actually saw, and I don't know his name, or at least I can't pronounce it. That's how I got up on the book James, and it's a retelling of Huckleberry Finn. I was looking at PBS Books, because you know on PBS Books on Facebook they will always post like an author that they're going live with, and like what book that author will be talking about. And I think Abby Jimenez will be talking about that recent book that she just wrote, just for the summer. It's black and white. Okay, I think I can dig it. I like the colored ones, but I do have a few black and white ones on my shelf. But and I think, and that's how I got up on the book James from, looking at PBS Books Live. And I'm just so excited to look at Abby Jimenez talk about her book Just for the Summer at 8 o'clock. Do you like the colored graphic novels, or do you prefer the black and white ones? I would prefer the colored ones, but I can do both. I don't know, guys. I just like graphic novels. I just like the feel of them. Okay. So, what other books are you reading besides that graphic novel? I mean, like, what is your genre? I'm guessing probably fantasy. I'm so hungry, y'all. Like, the food, the breakfast that I had at work, it wasn't hitting, and then the lunch, it just wasn't hitting on 2 cents. So I'm kind of hungry. I could, I. That's what I kind of figured when I seen that you said you reading the vampire. I was kind of uh thinking that you was one of those fantasy readers. Is that all that you like, is the fantasy? I like fantasy too, but do you see this? That is the reason why, like, I don't hurry toward a fantasy, because they're just so thick. So if I can't get it on audio, I usually do not read that fantasy book unless I can get it on audio, because it will take me forever, y'all, like, to read this book. Like, and I guess I just feel like that because I'm looking at the thickness of it. Like, it has 600 and something pages in it, and I just don't feel like I can freehandly read a book that has that many pages. That's like 300 and some pages more than what I'm typically used to reading. But have many of you guys read this book already? If y'all have, what are y'all thoughts on this book? Okay. I don't I don't know anything about those genres that you're talking about, if that's a genre. Hey girl, Val, girl, I was waiting on you. Yes, I started before, but then I got an important phone call. So I was actually driving on the way home. So I had to get off, and I done made it home, so I decided to come back on. And I was hoping that you were gonna show up. I was like, dang, I missed her yesterday. I started a little early today, and she's not here. And I was like, oh my God. Because at 8 o'clock I wanted to look at a live on Facebook. It's the PBS Books. They're actually interviewing or talking with Abby Jimenez today about Just for the Summer, and I kind of wanted to look at her and see what she has to say about that book. Good to see you too. I mean, good to hear from you. It's not like I can see. But good to hear from you too, girl. I was so hoping that you were gonna be able to make it before I got off, because like I said, I did come on early. And like I was telling them, Val, I am reading this for a book club pick. First Lie Wins. I haven't actually started it yet, but I am gonna start it because I want to be able to talk about it when the book club actually meets. I Girl, I have not read that book yet. And also I am tandem reading Iron Flame Val. Um I have this audio for it, and it's like a very how would I say it? Like, it's like on the audio, like you can hear the narrator reading, but then like, of course, like on Iron Flame is like with the dragons, and you can hear the narrator reading, but then like in the background or whatever, like somebody's talking in your head, you can also hear that person as well. It's very animated audio for this book, Iron Flame, and I love it. And I'm also reading Corrupt from Penelope Douglas Val. And then I'm trying to do a reading vlog of graphic novels for the weekend. And tomorrow's Thursday. So for the weekend, that's what I kind of want to do, is start reading graphic novels to give you guys a vlog. And so I'm reading the Heartstoppers 3, Volume 3 and Volume 4. And hopefully I can also get to Volume 5. So those are the books that I'm actually reading. And while I was at work, I was listening to Red, White, and Royal Blue. I think that's the name of it. Red, White, and Royal Blue. Almost done with that one, and it's by Casey McQueenston. I read One Last Stop by Casey McQueenston, and I just did not like that book. But Red, White, and Royal Blue is actually pretty good. Girl, you haven't heard of, I know, have you heard of her Fourth Wing? And I think they said they got a third book coming out. I think it's like Fourth Wing, then Iron Flame. And then I want to say I heard my coworker telling me today that they have a third book coming out. But have you heard of Fourth Wing? Girl. Yeah, so yeah, I understand what fantasy not being your thing. So after she wrote Fourth Wing, then she came out with Iron Flame. Sorry about that, y'all. My daughter, she always got something to say. Girl, I love the Heartstoppers too. I read volume 1 and 2, and I already had volume 3, but I didn't want to read it because I wanted to get 4 and 5. So now I have it. So now I'm gonna read those books. And Val, I just finished up with the Dreamland Billionaire series. I had read the fine print, and so and within the past week or so, I've read Terms and Conditions and Final Offer, and hands down to that Dreamland Billionaire series, to Lauren Asher. I love her books. Yeah, like fantasies are just too stinking long. And it's like, I don't know how I want to put it, but like, how much can happen in like 600 and something pages of a fantasy? It's kind of like, come on, y'all, let's see what's gonna happen next. Let's get to the end. Like, why did it take 600 and something pages for you guys to tell me this? So like, I have like a limited shelf for fantasies. I'm looking forward to a sixth volume. Yeah, girl. 600 pages. I think this Iron Flame, I want to say it has like 618 pages or something like that. No, girl, I lied. It has 623 pages. Like, girl, sis, why? Why should you have a book this long? But I really enjoyed Fourth Wing. And then, like I said, I found the animated version of the audiobook for Iron Flame. And I borrowed it from Libby. And I actually like it. So I said, I'm going to go ahead on read this book. What are you reading now, Val? What are you reading today? Because I know you can fly through some books, and I always love to get your book recommendations, because I find those books at the bookstore, and I always end up loving them. Yes, it is pretty sunny. It was very hot today, and I fared very well with the storm. It was very windy. It was very rainy, and I was very scared because like I have oak trees, pine trees, and pecan trees in my yard, and like in the surrounding yards that's in the area that I live. And I know when like some of those, especially like the oak trees and the pecan trees, when they get very very wet, like they will bend and fall. So I was kind of scared about that, and like of course too, I didn't want none of them branches and stuff to fall on my car. And then I have like this large, oh, every time I look up at it, it just brings, it just does something to me, in my front yard. And during the time that I was like taking my mom to her doctor's appointments and stuff yesterday, and like going to the stores, I just seen so many pine trees that just was uprooted and just fell, and it was just so scary for me. But other than that, I just had like a lot of debris in my yard that I got to get up. Oh, so you did start reading that book. So did you finish James? Are you reading both of them? It's pretty scary. I did look up that book that you're talking about the Everett's wife, and I also looked it up on audio, and I listened to a sample of it, and I think I'm gonna like that book. So I seen it that I can like order it online from like thrift books and stuff like that for like very very cheap. I think I want to say one of those places, I want to say it was like $5. So I'm definitely going to try and get that book so that I can like read them together, reading wife and husband duo. Oh, so even though it was the retelling of Huckleberry Finn, and you didn't really care for that, you were still able to read his in one day. I really enjoyed when I picked up that book from Target, Val, and I had seen him on PBS Books talking about that book, and he was saying that how he started the book out with like the songs. And when I saw it in Target, that was the first thing I did. I could not wait to like flip through it to see if at the very beginning of that book those songs were there, and they were there. And I was like, wow, that is just so cool. So I do have it on my shelf, and since you read it in one day, it was a one read sitting. I'm about to get that book off my shelf and read that book. Okay, good. I'm glad. Oh, girl, do you see? Didn't I show you these books, Val? I showed you these books that I was reading. Oh my God, you're making me pull James off my shelf and start reading that book. I gotta start reading it now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to put one of these to the side to actually start reading James. That's why I said, y'all, I need like 10 of me to read books. Like, you tell me what's going on in that book. You tell me you know what I'm saying? You're putting me in a hard spot here, girl. So, Val, how was your day at work? So many books, so little time. Absolutely right. Like I was telling them earlier, Val, before you was able to make it on, or I did say 7:30 though. I have a few things that long. I know you're glad you're home. I am too. I had a long 12-hour shift today, but it wasn't that bad because I was able to do a lot of things. I had the ER at work, and it was not that bad. But I have a lot of bookish things that is coming up in the month of August. And I will always try to make sure I take as many pictures as I can or video what I can and just show you guys, share with you guys some of the bookish things that I have done and like some of the books that I see and just the people that love books as much as we do. Yeah, I do a 7 a to 7 p. Yeah, that's a long day. And then a lot of times I get, some of my patients, they will ask us, like, is it raining outside? Like, what does it look like outside? And I'm like, ma'am, sir, I'm inside this building pretty much for 12 hours. I don't know what it looks like outside until it's time for me to go home because it's like if we do go outside to try to just chill and have a good, a little break, like our phones will always ring. So it's like we don't get a break. We have to eat in between and, all that good jazz. But I do have a lot of bookish things, Val, that I'm going to this month, or at least I'm trying to go to in between my job. And one of them is like at the distillery. They're having some kind of like bookish meeting where people just gather, talk about the books that they're reading, get good book recommendations, and then of course get the drinks. And then I went to the silent book hour last month at that was hosted by the book store in my city, and so they're doing it again this month, so I'm gonna try my best to go to that one. And also in the city that I work in, it's a thing that they're having. I think it was like poetry and authors or something like that. I will have to look back at my calendar to see what it is, but it's like on the 31st of August, and I'm actually going to that. And then, y'all, how many of you guys books, drinks, and charcuterie boards? I always cannot say that, but cheese, crackers, meat, olive, stuff like that. All of that, Val. Charcuterie boards. I always cannot say that word, but y'all know what I'm saying. I can say it sometimes and sometimes I can't. But also, y'all, how many of you guys, and I don't know how many of you guys are Colleen Hoover books. You can't pronounce it either. Girl, sometimes I can pronounce it very well, but sometimes this tongue just does not do right. But how many of y'all like Colleen Hoover books? Like, how many of you guys are going to see that movie, It Ends With Us? I have to work, but I am going to see that movie. And then I think like in the city that I work in, I think they're having some kind of bookish thing dedicated to that movie coming out. So that's also something that I'm going to that is a bookish event. So I have like a lot of things going on as far as a bookish event this month, and I am so stinking excited. I am so excited because that gives me a chance to meet different people, possibly meet authors, all the jazz. And because I'm trying to work my way up to going to a book signing, y'all. I would love to go to a book signing. The bookstore that's in my city, I gotta look at their pages because I think sometimes they actually do have authors to come to their store. You have to buy like the ticket. It's like a ticket for just to be in the place while the author is there. Probably like $15. And then they have the ticket that you can buy. And I think it's like, I guess it depends on the book, like $28, and it's for you to get in and for the book and for the author to sign that book. So hopefully I can get into some of those. Girl, Verity, I know you enjoyed Verity, girl. Verity was something else. I enjoyed that book. The first book I read by her was Ugly Love, and the second one was, I want to say it was Verity. And then of course I read It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, um, Confess, all your perfects. Like Colleen Hoover does really write some good books, y'all. I really do enjoy her books. Val, you got to cook tonight? God, I'm so glad you was able to make it. Did the storm hit y'all too bad up? Was it up in your way? And guys, it was just a oh, I'm so sorry. It was just a tropical storm, y'all. It wasn't even like a hurricane. So like that is the part that just scares me so bad. Girl, that's my kind of thing, honey. I have some greens in here that I cooked the other day. If I don't eat that, I will actually be making me a bologna sandwich and having some, you know, I got some Quest loaded taco chips. So most likely I'll probably just eat meal sandwiches and like some chips. And I like to drink those poppies, or I like to drink these. So that's what I'll be having tonight when I go inside. Of course, get out these clothes, take me a nice shower, twist my hair up for tomorrow, and go to work tomorrow and do the whole day all over again. 12-hour shift, girl. Oh man, girl. Okay, good. I hope not. I think the wind gust got up to like one of the times that I looked at, the wind gust got up to like 45 miles per hour around here. But that was like way up in the day when I was looking at it, or that morning. So I don't even know if that wind gust got more than 45 miles per hour. But I feel like that is on top of rain, soaking the ground, making the ground soft. I think 45 miles per hour is a lot for a wind gust. And it is this time of year. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But like I said, that was one of the times that I did look at the news. But from the way all of these trees had toppled over, like huge pine trees, like it seemed like that wind probably was going more than 45 miles per hour. But I don't know. But it was a lot of rain. It is. And I would rather for it to happen during the day so I can at least kind of like feel like I'm seeing what's going on. It really scares me for bad weather like that to be at night, because I don't know, I can't see, and it's just really scary. Y'all, I really got to get myself together with this, but I am going to mention it to you guys, because I am going to get myself together and I am going to get it done. And I am, oh gosh, I am supposed to start this in September. And when I do start this in September, it's going to be like once a month starting out, or probably twice a month. But I am writing down and actually recording some podcast episodes. And it's gonna be Friends Like Us with Yolanda. So I want to start this out in September. At least hope we start it out in September. I'll only be on Spotify in the very, very beginning. But I really and truly want us to talk on a podcast, or for me to start on a podcast. And of course, I will always, be willing to interview anybody that wants to be interviewed or talked to, or we could just talk together about books. Or I want to put up on my community tab Q&A questions that I can answer like during my podcast readings and stuff like that. That has really been a passion for me, to have or host my own podcast. Why I don't know. I just always have had that feeling, always have had that yearning to do a podcast. And so I think I am going to try to make that happen for real this time in September. So fingers crossed that I can do that. So I do have my little book here that I will be like writing down my podcast notes and everything, and like interest of things that y'all have said, or wanted to know on like my community tab and like up under my comments and stuff like that. And hopefully I can go ahead on and get this thing kicked off, because I it's just a passion of mine, and that passion just will not go away. So I feel like it's just time for me to embrace that passion. So that's what I will be starting to do in September, or at least that's on my mind, that's on my heart to do in September. And hopefully we can get it done, and we can also enjoy each other on a podcast on Spotify. So it'll be called Friends Like Us, with Yolanda on Spotify. And I hope you guys will actually support me over there. Yeah, Spotify is like, it's nothing. Well, if you want the premium, and it is a like on your phone or your laptop or something, you have to have the Spotify app. And once you have the Spotify app, it's just like, like you got Instagram, you'll have to log into it. And when you log into it, like when you hit the search bar, you can search like Sam Smith, and it'll come up with the songs that he writes, or whatever. And then like when you go in there and you search Friends Like Us with Yolanda, it'll pop up my podcast icon and like my episodes and stuff. You never listen to podcasts? Like, I love listening to podcasts. I listen to Shaughnessy's podcast all the time. She's a really big booktuber, and it's Love You Most on Spotify. And I think yeah, like I said, I don't pay anything for the podcast app that I have, what I sign into. Like I said, they have a premium one where like you can listen to audiobooks, and then of course, like it just have more things that you can do. But the podcast app that I have, that I sign into to listen to music and stuff, like it's totally free. Like, I don't pay anything. But that's just a passion of mine, y'all. It's been a passion of mine, and that passion just will not go away. So I've tried it before, um and I kind of stopped it, but I feel like I need to continue with it, because like that passion, that spark for that just will not leave me. So I'm gonna give it another try. But yeah, Val, I love to listen to podcasts. I listen to true crime podcasts. I listen to the Front Porch podcast, and that's from the book store that's here in my city. I listen to Love You Most podcast. That's a book girly that I follow. That is so cool. Like, I really like listening to podcasts. Okay, do that. Do that, because I'm pretty sure that you will find some podcasts that you actually would like to listen to. I love them. And I feel like if you like books like we do, Val, I think you'll like a podcast too. And I don't know, I have never seen it. I don't know if like, like Barnes and Nobles and stuff, like Barnes and Noble, they do different kind of things, but I've never seen them with a podcast. I heard of a podcast. But like I said, the bookshelf here in my city, they actually have, but it's an independent bookstore. So I guess it's more of the independent bookstores that possibly could have a podcast. Because this independent bookstore, her podcast is called The Front Porch. And like, she's just so jolly, so always full of energy on her podcast. Like she have interviews with different authors and stuff on her podcast. Of course, she will have all of that because like she's a bookstore. So, but I think you would like a podcast, Val. So just give it a try, girl. All right, guys. So it is 7:57, and I really want to look at Abby Jimenez on PBS Books, and I think they start that at 8. So we're gonna get off of here, and I am going to go over to PBS Books on Facebook and listen to what Abby Jimenez has to say about Just for the Summer. Val, y'all, I'm so glad y'all came and joined me tonight. I will put on my community tab when I will be back on again. And like I said, I think I'm gonna try to do it twice a month. Um and hopefully this time when I do tell you guys I'm gonna be on here, I will. Life just happened yesterday. All right, girl. It's so nice to always talk to you too. I mean, I've really made a good friend with you, girl, and I'm really, really enjoying our friendship with books. But I will see you guys the next time I am live. Y'all have a happy reading night. Bye, guys.